Hello everyone, we're back with some Fate Grand Order. When we last left off, we started the Götterdämmerung chapter, which is in 1000 BC apparently. Exactly 1000, that's neat. So we don't have the world map yet. Sorry. Yeah, which is weird. I don't really remember what it looks like. I think it might be like half frozen, half like green plains. I'm not sure though. It is, like I said, been a while since I've seen it on the Japanese series. I imagine we'll probably get it after this node, probably. Assault of the Demon Sword beginning. Wait, this is another one of those, like, chapter 1 is split into, like, beginning and end like Camelot, is it? It's not like 10 arrows. I've always hated Sundays. What's this? Is this... I think this might be... I think her name is Ophelia, right? From, she's the cryptor of this lostbelt. Which, not a spoiler, we know that. It's because I hate my father? No. It's because I hate my mother? Oh, it's not that either. When I was little, I wholeheartedly embraced their dreams for me. I really thought everything they talked about would become true. Wait, hold on one second, hold on. Sorry, I'm back. I didn't need to hate them. I don't even need much in the way of parental love from them. I believed that I would one day reach the 6th imaginary element, just as they wanted. I'd be the one to make my family's long-held dream come true, getting the power I needed to accomplish that. But even so, I hated Sundays. Tested them, even. And I'd wake up early and go to church. Loathed having to spend all day Sunday at home. The home I grew up in, with my parents. From the time I woke up until the time I went to bed, it felt as though that giant ceiling was crushing me to death. I don't hate my parents, I respect them. I'm proud of them. That much has never changed. So then, what did I hate about Sundays? Report from the computer room. Report from the computer room. So far, this aerial sail is looking just peachy. Just kick back and enjoy this little voyage through the sea of time. I said voyage funny because that's how Da Vinci would say it. We got 150 kilometers to cross. The current reduced speed. I think it should take us about an hour or so. Oh? Oh, I forgot about Fall. He didn't show up at all last time, did he? Uh-oh. Somebody's not happy about this trip. What happened to all that bluster you were spouting just a little while ago? I know this is only our second voyage, but you should be used to this by now. Am I wrong, Gordolf? I thought you were talking to Poe. Yes. Do you need something, technical advisor? Is it tea time already? Something you were worried about, Commander? Huh, of course not. I wouldn't waste time on foolish sentiment. I thought I'd feel better after we defeated the servant who destroyed Chaldea, but I don't. At all. I poured forward flush. They're the finest private army I ever had. There may have been a bunch of thugs and hoodlums, but they did their job dang well. After this whole mess is sorted out, I'll need to pay out their life insurance. If they could scrape together more than a penny to my name, of course. That said, this way of getting around really is beyond the pale. I'm a man of the land, not the sea. Not that I'd hesitate to board a submarine to save humanity, of course. But this may be better. I may be better about seasickness now, but I don't think I'll ever get used to this zero sail nonsense. So you still feel bad even though you're not seasick? Are you claustrophobic or something? No, I'm not claustrophobic. I mean that I don't care for this void space business. It's not something I'm just going to get used to. Let me be clear. Getting used to danger means losing sight of security. Oversights, betrayals, bankruptcy, victories getting revoked by judges. Has that happened to you before? All those sorts of retribution stem from carelessness and arrogance. You can't assume everything will be sunshine and roses just because things happen to go your way once. Not to mention, is it normal saying your sunshine and rainbows? I think it is. Not to mention, verifying the existence of void space may be a great feat, I'll admit. But be honest, you still don't have a clue what it even is, do you? Why are you looking at me? Look, I'm just the main character. I kill things when they show up. Well, I make things kill things when they show up. Make it or you'll never get on any machine I can't drive myself. And yet... I don't know if you heard that. Void space is something only a tiny handful of mages have ever so much as touched. Just thinking about it floating around in there makes me, oh no! They don't want to be sick! You say that, and yet your complexion tells me that you're feeling just fine, Gordolf. No, Mr. Gordolf. Am I your gumption? Is that a word? That's not a word. The rest of the staff are equally versed in science and magecraft, but you, Director, are a mage's mage. That's why you travel through void space puts you so ill at ease. You're keenly aware of both the benefits and risks posed by Zero Sail. Yet despite that, you're doing your utmost to remain calm and collected. This is truly keeping a stiff upper lip, as they say, commendable. Well, I mean, he is British. You must have hit rock bottom quite a few times in your life. Perhaps you're accustomed to being in dire predicaments at this point. Well, is he British? He has spent time in Britain, because that's where the clock tower is. I'm accustomed to nothing of the sort. Never once crossed the finish line in last place, I'll have you know. Crossed the finish line in last place? Never heard an expression like that before, Director Gordolf. Well, of course you haven't. What's it gonna be a man of my caliber, Miss Washu? Even the expressions you use take on a special life of their own. That's the first time he's ever addressed me respectfully. Someone's way of complimenting you, Director. So, like, Japanese translations use a lot of weird phrases all the time, so that's just like, oh yeah, that's a phrase. I think so too. Mr. Holmes only ever speaks about what he's certain of, after all. Haha, you get that right. It's a heck of a nice way to put it, Mashu. Oh, I see. So that's what that was all about? You both say so, you may be right. Is he? No, he's not blushing. Fo. By the way, technical advisor, what's our itinerary for this voyage look like? Huh? Director Gordolf, Devinci just briefed us about that right after we arrived in void space. Maybe you blacked out after we started the signal sail? Oh. I'm so sorry, Mr. Gordolf. We had no idea you lost consciousness with your eyes open. What? Come now, don't be absurd. I've handled the G-forces from accelerating to over 250 kilometers per hour. I'll have you know. I say, what about you, youngster? Yes, you, Horsey. Hey, said my name. Your file said you frequently fall into REM sleep. Liberty even said you could do it standing up if I'm not mistaken. Is that some special skill of yours? That's right. We call it the HorseyEatYou. I assume that's a typo that just never got fixed. Huh. Do they go back and fix typos? I don't actually know. Like, I assume they would. Like, maybe it's too much work for Aniplex USA to do. HorseyEatYou? Is that a special technique? Huh? No way, I was just kidding about the skill part. Are you people? Alright. At any rate, it seems you dozed off just as easily as I do. Gordolf is the best straight man. It used to be us, but we've evolved into HorseyEatYou. You remember what the briefing was all about? Perhaps now would be a good time to review all that you know while we're at it. Yes, that's a good point. I'm sorry. Oh, but as for Senpai, I think he went off to have lunch with Fo after we left on the Zero Sail. Oh, that's convenient. You heard the man, Devinci. You'd be so kind as to summarize our current situation for him. Why couldn't we just do this the first time it happened? You can show us that. Or does it have to... Maybe they want Mashu to already know so that she can chime in sometimes. Sure, if that's what he wants. Let's go for our immediate itinerary again. There's the globe. It's a cylinder globe. Which I think globe actually refers to the shape as well, so like, it's not a globe, but we just entered the Scandinavian Peninsula right around here. At the moment we're still diving through the storm wall. Do we? Right. It's not even showing us Europe. Well, like, we see a bit of Europe. I don't know where the border from like Russia and Europe is without lines. But, well, Middle East is right here, so like it's, I think it's like right around here, I think? That's like where like Ukraine and, well, I think Romania's a bit west. My European geography isn't great. On our current route, we should then emerge here in Northern Europe, the southern part of Sweden. It's only a 10-kilometer trip, but since we don't have any connection to Scandinavia, surfacing in our intended destination will come down to a combination of a dice roll and my navigational genius. Since I've got my hands full making sure our coordinates don't go fluctuating all over, we have no way of knowing if there will be any hostile entities on the other side. Oh, this is Da Vinci talking. So be ready for an even rougher measures than the one we went through in Russia. So in other words, entering one of these lost belts inevitably comes down to the luck of the draw, eh? Just to make doubly sure, is there any way we could ignore the Scandinavian lost belt and head straight to the North Sea? Certain conditions need to be in place for this to emerge as a lost belt, right? And why go out of our way to do that? Even if we don't know the Wandering Sea's exact coordinates, you can just get to the North Sea. I know, but I'm afraid that's just not possible. Currently skimming right next to the border between reality space and void space. It's the only way we can peek into reality from void space, which we have to do if we're going to emerge somewhere we lack a connection to. In addition, the amount of power the shadow border consumes in this mode is directly affected by the amount of real-world distance we travel. Oh, huh. I mean, it would have to be, given that we're following reality so closely. And under current power levels, there's no way the border can zero sail more than 300 kilometers near the mirror world plane. So we have to emerge in the Scandinavian lost belt if we're going to stock up for the journey to the Wandering Sea. I see. This zero sail business sounds good on paper, but something has more to its share of drawbacks, doesn't it? Basically, if we want to go diving and emerging wherever we like. Yes? We can't. Neither the border nor myself are up to that. At least not right now. Sorry, Gordy. Sorry, and sixpence will never get you a decent cup of tea these days. That's also a saying. Fine, you're saying you want a real lab with full facilities, right? Once we make our way through the Scandinavia and meet up with the Wandering Sea, then things should improve at least a little, yes? You got it. Glad you're such a quick study. As I was saying earlier, just kick back and enjoy the last bit of our voyage. Actually, when we get to the Wandering Sea, everyone there vanished. We were late by 2 days. We're currently off from real world time by about 10 days. We'll emerge from void space as soon as we're through the storm wall. So it's just like what happened in Russia. That means one of those enormous trees really is here in Scandinavia too. Indeed. We could see it for ourselves before we began our journey through the storm wall. If we just so happen to emerge from the Tree of Emptiness... Oh, was it in the CG? I did not notice it if it was. We need to choose between leaving Scandinavia behind or investigating the tree. Regardless, this will no doubt need to make our way across a considerable bit of land once we reach the inside of this lost belt. I encourage you all to remain calm and in control so that we may better react to whatever awaits us. I wonder if this lost belt will be anything like Russia's. It's just furries again. Although, when the Russian Tree of Emptiness came crashing down, it's so rather indecipherable. What was that? Why were those radar beeps so loud? Something coming towards us? Something is pinging our omnidirectional sonar! It's Kirei! On a skateboard! What's that? There's something with a fixed wavelength moving around? I think he has like a fishbowl on his head. Something with a fixed wavelength. You mean there's something else here besides the shadow border? Wait, what? Hold on. Just hold on. You mean to tell me there's something alive out there? In void space? Fo. Indeed. Under normal circumstances, nothing could possibly exist in void space, unless it were composed of void. It's void cheeky! There are exceptions, though. Like a Leviathan. Namely, the all-terrain void transporter Shadow Border, its crew, and the Paper Moon. Maybe the Paper Sun's out there. That could only mean there's someone or something else that can travel via zero sail? If there were, it would require technology that surpasses Atlas's. Wish you could say that were entirely impossible, but we can't rule it out. Da Vinci, are you seeing anything on your end? Your eye should be a good deal sharper than ours. Sorry, but I've got my hands full keeping track of the real world's terrain. Can't spare any cameras to see what might be near us. That was my stomach, could you hear that? Oh, but I have noticed one thing that's changed. The Shadow Border's been running really smoothly for a while now. So there's definitely something out there in our vicinity. Just couldn't tell you what it is. The border's also got Magecraft and Spirit radars in addition to the sonar. They're not turning anything up either. Well, it's without MP line. Like, not quite a typo. They typoed a tab press. Since I can't imagine there be anything living in void space, guessing it's using Soliton like wave connection, but we Dr. Goldoff? We're under attack! Oh, for Who was it that was saying the old man has gotten used to this stuff? It must be some sort of monster or servant with the ability to zero sail. They could be anywhere. It could be any one of us. It could even be... yes, that's a distinct possibility. Rasputin mentioned something along those lines too. As I recalled, he said that while he is unable to freely move between lost belts, I forgot how to look up how to say your name again. Koyansky could do so. It's difficult to imagine she employs the same method that we do, but she may well have her own means of crossing dimensions. There, you see? You're also alive in the terrible for yourselves. These lost belts are obviously full of monsters. It's an ocean elephant. I imagine void space like the ocean. Especially with the latest event on the Japanese servers, which I think is void space related. I read nothing about the story. I didn't learn until the end of the event. Am I allowed to talk about new servants? Yeah, I'm going to talk about a new servant on FGO if you don't want to be spoiled. Leave Van Gogh. It's actually a girl. They got gender bent apparently. It wouldn't surprise me at all if one of them was a writer with just that sort of skill. With the other servant that came out with them, who I think their name actually might be a spoiler. I know like a tiny bit about them. I thought, it's another boy that kind of looks feminine. You even hear yourself. This is void space. This whole dimension shouldn't even exist. There's no way there could be anything here besides the border. Creature, heroic spirit with the ability to conduct a zero sail. I know Miss Miyamoto wanders between parallel worlds, but only in that she tumbles from one or another. It's Musashi swimming along beside us. She's only a drifter who keeps falling through realities because all other possibilities have abandoned her. There's no being in all of reality space besides us who can travel freely between dimensions. That, at least, was what Atlas Institute's Trismegistus said as of 2018. Still, it's not something we can rule out entirely. And we are here ourselves means it must be possible for someone else to be as well. Couldn't you have kept that to yourselves, Holmes? You're just gonna work the old man up even more. Oh, it's a closed room mystery. Holmes, you can solve this one. Did you just get even closer? Please calm down, Director. I know this may not help put your mind at ease, but I think I sensed something. Something close. What is it? Is it something we've seen before? No, I don't think so. Strangely enough, I also don't think that whatever it is malicious. In fact, I think it might even be kind of warm and comforting. Oh, come now. That's standard demon operating procedure. They bait their hook with kindness. Well, I'm not falling for it. I'm gonna listen to my own instincts. He's gonna push the big red button that says eject from void space. Listen up, all of you. No desire to become an adventure crazy not like the rest of you. But even I can see that making an emergency exit out of void space is our best option here. Therefore, as the director of Chaldea, I'm ordering the Shadow Border to make an immediate emergency exit into reality space. An emergency exit? I want to take Mashu's side here, but I have to make Wardolph has a point. One thing's for sure, there's something out there that even I can't see. We shouldn't take that lightly. So my vote is for the emergency exit. As luck would have it, we're very close to the end of this form wall. Can you snap a picture of the thing outside before we leave? So there's one thing I want to go over first. We already crossed the border. We're currently in what used to be southern Sweden, somewhere inside the Scandinavian lost belt. But when we emerge, the risks will be even greater than they were back in Russia. Cutting out the future predictions in order to force our way back to reality could result in the entire Shadow Border coming apart. I mean, that can't happen. We're in the sequel. And it's not just the border. All of you could end up seriously hurt as well. Not me or Nashu. We have plot armor. If yourselves from 10 days ago happen to overlap with yourselves just now, just having your bodies catch up with their own regulatory functions will be enough to make you vomit. Are you okay if that ends up happening? Of course, that's this vehicle's central processing unit. I'll be doing my best to avoid that. I hope so. Of course, at this point a little nausea is nothing. Just get us the heck out of here, Defensi. I don't want to spend another second with this unknown thing if I can help it. Responsible for all your lives here. As such, I refuse to continue a voyage in such close proximity to an unknown entity. Get the Shadow Border to the surface right now. Well, I'll sleep with the eyebrow there. Don't make me repeat myself again. Just hurry. That actually made me think of something, but I can't say it. Alrighty, you ready to face the music? I'll do my best to make sure it's a pleasant tune. When am I allowed to say that, though? Like, I'll refrain. French cookie boy, I'm gonna switch over to manual. We don't want the safety functions putting on the brakes on autopilot. Are you serious? Is that completely going against the manufacturer's recommendation? Screw the manufacturer. Which, isn't Da Vinci the manufacturer? Initiating high-speed calculations. Preparing to emerge in... An emergency alert? Everyone strap in. Take deep breaths while you still can. Don't worry about that alert. We're just putting a little more strain on the hole than it's designed for. Isn't that incredibly dangerous? Don't worry. Right. Yeah, I didn't want to resort to this, since it gives me a bad fever. This new smaller body just isn't as resilient as my old one. I'll do whatever I can to help. Fetch me into the console if you would. I'll help too. Thank you. Right, I'm relegated to learning by observation myself, but the more hints the better. I'm imagining, there's a scene from like a, one of those like, detective shows. You know, they're like cops and they solve murders with forensic science. There's like 2 people, they're getting hacked, and there's 2 people on the keyboard trying to counter-hack the hacker. Only Mr. Babbage were here to assist us. I hear you, but I prefer the Spirit Origin briefcase alone. Just isn't enough to summon him outside of short battles. Have to make do. Oh, who do we canonically summon in Lost Belt 2? What if we get a V-Sabron? Again. And wouldn't it be great if another Salieri dropped into our laps right now? Like say now. Please, give me a Salieri. Dang, it didn't work. Well, luckily he'll be in a banner with Cedo9 in a couple months. Oh, well, worth a shot. Guess we're on our own after all. Alright, then let's do this thing. Activating Paper Moon, initiating planet navigational, chart +- convergence. Commencing Shadow Warder's docking sequence into reality boundary. And he's the only 3-star servant on that banner, so if you get a servant, it's either Harem or it's gold. Disengaging Mirror World plane voyage. The strata may dissolve, continue to exist, replying time flow attraction from reality space. 0.4 second difference between target coordinates and current recognition confirmed. It's well within tolerances, so we're good to go. Merging from void space. 30 seconds into our arrival at reality space. 0 cell complete. Merging into reality space. Will give us another 3D animation. Come on, do it. Yeah! That's the good stuff. The Lightworks spent like $10 making this, so they have to show it off at every chance. So now they showed it like, oh, Lost Belt number 2, Lost Belt depth, B+. The Eternal Icy Fire Sentry Götterdämmerung, the Good Fellow of Everlasting Flame. 1000? BC. Come on! That's gonna be a recurring feature, me saying come on as the retry button shows up. It happens sometimes in battle too, which is annoying. I found out, oh, yeah, icy. Oh, I can't zoom out without my keyboard. Is it all ice? Alright, it's pretty vertical, so... Oh yeah, I can drag. But, yeah, I can't zoom out. No, never mind. It's all ice. Again, all of the Lost Belts are just snow maps. Oh hey, half AP. Berserker, huh? Probably just generic mobs. So, give me a waiver. Oh boy. Oh yeah! So Mashu gives you bonus bond points for everyone else down in Lost Belt 2. So let's go ahead and set up our backline. Let's do Mashu. We're forced to use her with her VR headset. She got an Oculus Rift. She doesn't want to take it off, and we're like, "Come on, the Vive is better." She's like, "No, I like this one." I'm okay with this backline, honestly. Like, Needlecris is good, and can't really switch shot. Well, I think we can get a 3-star. So let's get Ushi for the bond. There we go, perfect. And craft essences look good. Get 50% there, 30% there. Do you want to go Needlecris first? Sure. I just got her, so I want to use her. Like, I've had her on the Japanese server since, like, Camelot came out of there, but I don't really use her too often there. The Ortonox exoskeleton is operating within expected parameters. Internal pressure regulation, combustion, and weaponry are all good to go. Armored shoulder is cleared to deploy. Oh? Feeling up to this, Mashu? Yes, all my readings and transformations are working well. Although... What's up? I thought you'd be ejecting me again, but this chamber and model both seem very different. Well, sure. Last time we were sending you into the thick of an ongoing battle. This time we're just having you check out our surroundings. Besides, Master's coming along with you. Can't go shooting you both out, can we? Ah. Right, good point. Forget that Senpai will be joining me. Alright, let's try this again. Are you all set? Yes, armored shoulder, ready to deploy. Is that your new class? You got it. Shadow Border, open the hatch. We're a go for our recon mission. Take a drink. Good timing. Long transition. Hey, there's trees. Senpai? How are you feeling, Mashu? Aren't you cold? I mean, the armor probably protects her, right? Not a bit. I know we can see our breath out here, like this. That's the worst of it. Don't worry, I'm fine. Do I still have my, the Mystic Code from last time? My cold resistant gear helps a lot. Since it's not as bad as it was in Russia. It does make sense that Scandinavia would still be freezing, though. That does make sense. All that aside, this place is very snowy, isn't it, Senpai? It's 3 degrees Celsius, but the wind isn't cold at all. Sorry, can we get that in Fahrenheit? The real unit of measurement? The air feels crisp and clean. So like it's like, well, so 0 Celsius is 32 Fahrenheit, so it's like, let's just say 38 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's pretty cold. Feels like a real winter wonderland compared to Russia. Sure, the temperature will drop to well below 0 once night falls. Right now, I'm just enjoying how peaceful it is. Same. This place would get a lot of tourists if it existed in our history. No romance. I agree. I was just thinking the same thing. Still don't know exactly what this lost belt is like. At least this place seems quite peaceful. It's enough to make me hope that maybe not every lost belt is dangerous. But this really isn't the time to wax philosophical. Let's get started, Master. I don't really know enough about the states of the other lost belts to comment on that. Like 3, I know it exists, and Cars is there. 4, I think there's something big extra related there. I don't know. And 5, like, Oldtime's there with his skateboard. He and Link key right one. That's where he got it. Alright, it's perimeter check time. Hey, let's start by looking for some sort of hill so we can get a better view of our surroundings. The border is recharging for now while it stays camouflaged in the snow. Da Vinci said it would take about 3 hours for it to charge up completely, so let's do our best to explore as much as we can in that time. And filler battle! Oh, no, given it's the first fight of the thing, it'll probably give us a bit of a build up to it. Okay, we reached the top of the hill. It's nothing but snowy fields as far as I can see. And then there's... Senpai, look! Berserker golems! Oh no! Look at that. It's a white mountain ridge stretching on forever. I think they're made of ice and snow? There's some sort of blue haze to the north, about halfway along the range. Wait, is that? Flames. Mountains. Is that like there? I guess? Yes, there's fire burning in parts without trees. Is the blue fire this? Can't see such a thing happening naturally, so it must be some sort of magecraft at work. So that's what this lost belt is. A world of mountains, white ice, and blue flame. Then there's the sun? It's much too big to be the sun, though. This doesn't add up. Third parts of Scandinavia can get almost no sunlight for months at a time. I've never seen anything about the sun being this size. Doubt any such records even exist. The sun, huh? And another thing, I don't see the Tree of Emptiness anywhere. Oh yeah, I guess it is pretty big, huh? We saw it before we went into the storm. Hey, look behind you. It was clearly visible from outside the lost belt. It just says Can't imagine it was something quite from existence, so maybe it's being hidden with magecraft. Well done on their reconnaissance, you two. Finally had a moment to catch our breath here. Holmes! Seems you're about 500 meters away. Well chosen. That's just about the perfect distance, since we're still unable to detect hostile entities. Thankfully, our emergency exit didn't strain the border as much as we anticipated, but I'm afraid it's still not going anywhere for the time being. Still, we cannot afford to waste any time, which is of course why we sent the pair of you to investigate. Land of fire and ice, Seems that this lost belt will present its own challenges, as I feared. That's all we can see from here. Thank you just the same. There's a faint visual here as well. The sun does indeed appear to be far larger than is normal. It should be tens of billions of years before it reaches this size. I still don't understand how drastically a lost belt can change its environment. This one has transformed our sun into a red giant. It's not really red. Were that the case, forget the ice and snow. The whole world would be a scorched desert. Well, the red giant's like a scientific term for stars, isn't it? I know very little about stars. Hey, no. Miss Kyrie might be able to survive such an environment. Mr. Horsey most assuredly will not. Wait, just my tap wheel scroll? As you know, I'm using a new recording software. I'm not using Reflector. I'm using Shmoo-Max. It's not on the market yet, so you might not have heard of it. Yes, which means that may not actually be our son. They actually approached me. They're like, we love your FGO content. Please record on our exclusive screen mirror. So it may well be something that looks like the sun, but in fact is not. I don't recall anything along those lines in Scandinavian or Germanic folklore, but I'll take another look just in case. What about the fire? Those flames don't look like your typical forest fire. That would be because they aren't. Take a look. Nothing is actually burning. Not sure how it works, but the fire appears to be something entirely separate and floating above the mountains. Is it? Mysterious to be sure. There's little cause to doubt this phenomenon is the result of some form of magecraft. What about the fact that it's blue? Whatever it is, it must be the work of a crypt or a lost belt serpent. That I can say for certain. Assuming it's a lost belt servant, what could be their true name? Mr. Holmes really hit the nail on the head, senpai. Well, of course he did. The experiments are always finding the truth of any situation right away. And of course for captivating readers with his brilliant and elegant deductions. I don't know, Christie's better. Thank you, Miss Kyrie. I guess, how do you say his name? Poirot? I must admit it's a touch embarrassing to be so effusively praised for the novelizations of my cases. Perhaps that's not so bad every once in a while. Not usually one to skip right to the conclusion. Yes, quite certain that the one who created those flames is... What is it? You calm yourself. Come on. Fofo Q! Oh, are you being attacked? Oh, what is it? Something wrong? They're being attacked. Berserker golems! Esther, get behind me. Get your briefcase out. We've just discovered an enormous humanoid creature. Better not be sequel target, I swear. An enormous humanoid creature, you say? I see. That is troubling. Most troubling indeed. He appears to be about 5 meters tall. His arms are also very long. He's wearing some sort of mask. I think he's speaking a language of some kind, but... Oh, it's Hercules! I can't make out what he's saying. It's more like an animal howling than any language I know. It's Greek. Don't be rude, Nashu. Hello? Bonjour? Guten Tag? Ni hao? Konnichiwa? Please listen to me. We're not your enemy. We don't mean you any harm. There's something I'm curious about. I wonder what order those are in the Japanese version. Because, from an English-speaking perspective, going French, German, Chinese, Japanese makes sense. We probably started Japanese. Then what do you think it went to in in Japanese to Chinese or English, and then I'm gonna get too into it. We are. It's no use, Machu. He doesn't understand. Master, I'm afraid he's coming right for us. It's better to attack. You ready to fight? Understood. Moving to intercept the hostile. So I know Norse mythology had some sort of giants, but are they just called giants or what? I'm imagining that's what this is. I know a bit about Norse mythology, not too much. I've listened to a podcast on it. On bits of it. It's I believe the Myths and Legends podcast. It's pretty fun. It has a lot of like every other, well, like every third podcast. It's like, oh hey, I know that from Fate. I'm only listening to like the first like 30 episodes of it. Like, when you watch podcasts, do you start from like the newest episode or do you start from the oldest? Because I like to go like, you know, chronological. But I haven't listened to it in a while. I think the last episode I listened to is something from Native American folklore. No, or maybe it was the Maeve story. I know he covered the Maeve, like you know, Crew Colin and Maeve and stuff. Jotan. Jotan? Oh, it's still. Oh yeah, hold on. This is important. Okay, there we go. We're gaming now. So this sucks. Maybe we can instant back up. Oh yeah, this is the first time I've had time to free talk. It's been a while. What do I talk about? What do I talk about first? I should say. Yeah, my recording schedule wasn't gonna be like me recording multiple every day immediately. I don't know when I'll be able to do that again, but I'd like to be able to record at least slowly. Because missing out on events really sucks. Like, I should be ready to go again before that, but in case I'm not able to record freely, I'd like to at least be caught up with the Part 3 prologue by the time the El Malloy, I'm not saying his name right probably, Case Files comes out. That collab event. It requires the Part 3 prologue, which, you know, I'd like to get done by then. Part 3 is actually the latest event requirement on Japan right now. So as long as I can knock that out, I'm good for the next while. Only issue is I would like to record the Oku event. Kind of. But I want to be too sad if I missed out, just because actually recording would be a bit of a pain the way the game. Oh! Actually instead. Oh. But the way the gameplay works in it, you do a lot of small battles and then, you know, you get some story. You do more small battles. You get a little more story. Which, I don't know. Oh, I didn't know he'd be hitting that so soon. The Chateau Diff. Cool. We only have one flame so far, so I won't be able to give him one just yet. All allies quick. Oh, it sucks. Get some lore. This is the prison he was held in. A prison tower, which no one in this game from alive. True name is the Chateau Diff. It's synonymous with hell itself. That's edgy. And most likely be human and inhuman at the same time. Yeah, beyond. Is that just his Noble Phantasm quote? Alright, at least some of the lines are from it. I don't know if that's the whole thing or not. Yeah, I guess I'll switch him out with Vlad then. You got a ring. It'd be nice if we had Scuddy, but we don't. So I don't get the Valkyries either, unfortunately. I like them well enough. Oh, come on. More Berserkers and an Assassin. Perfect for Nito. Don't say Nito, that reminds me of my Girls Frontline. Which is having an event right now, by the way. I'm on like the end of chapter 2 right now. It's fun. Like, the story for it isn't great, but You know, it tries, so I can admire that. The worst part about Girls' Frontline story, the side characters suck. I think I've talked about this before. Like, compared to Fate. Like, in Fate, you love everyone. In GFL, it's like, oh hey, I'm a side character, I have a funny line or two. And then they never show up again. The battle's over. We've neutralized the threat. Salt Mod 2, though, is best girl. And RL. Mashu, you're looking really tired. Why don't we head back to the border? Thank you for your concern, Master, but I'm alright. The sudden attack just had me a little out of breath is all. It's nothing to worry about. All my vital signs are fine. I'm still good to go. Doing my best. She's playing like Beat Saber on her Oculus Rift. Does the Oculus Rift even get games anymore? Doing my best to analyze the recording and battle data now. Well, I mean, it's not like they're like, you know, a console. You get what I mean. But at this point, I can only say that the creature you fought is nothing like we've seen. Did the Rift even come out? I don't know. Neither a heroic spirit nor a demonic beast. He was simply an enormous humanoid creature native to Scandinavia, one that could never possibly exist in the 21st century. A giant. Is it mythical giants? Correct. Please, you're already familiar with them. I read that a number of powerful giants used to live in Scandinavia. Of course, this was all a long time ago. The modern era, there have barely been any giant sightings in Sweden. Barely? Sorry, I'm back. My mouse? Okay. I believe most of them were during the Age of Gods, back when the old mystics still existed. I'm sure there are some exceptions, but even so, to encounter one out of nowhere like this. Both Gordolf and Mr. French Cookie Boy are in something of a tizzy about this impossible encounter, but yes, in the year 2020, giants have long since ceased to exist. Yeah, you've obviously just met one. However, one that tried to kill you even after you attempted to communicate with them, but still. I caught a glimpse of his eyes behind the mask, and he seemed consumed by blood loss. Did he have a mask? I didn't notice. So in this version of Scandinavia, creatures from the Age of the Gods still lives. That is most troubling. Consider the possibility, but I don't think it'd prove to be true so soon. Dang you, Cryptors! Dang you for throwing something like this at us only in the second lost belt. In only the second lost belt. Have you no sense of restraint? It's supposed to be linear. Let's say we are far from completely helpless. This key light, Mr. Horsey. To begin, I have updated our database with everything I could determine about this creature. We were unable to detect it from the border because Chaldea had no information about ancient giants. Furthermore, I also learned something rather unexpected about the ice and snow surrounding us. What about them? It's made out of people! They are imbued with a faint magical energy. The trace is so minute that only an expert mage would even be able to detect it at all. So I assume you detected it, huh? The small amount of magical energy created enough interference in our equipment that we were unable to detect the giant's approach. Sorry. Nancy is still quite upset about it. She says being plugged into function as a bio unit dulls your senses. Nonetheless, I'll do my best to update our data immediately. Also sending an update for the Orthodox's firmware. Mashu becomes level 81 now. Alright, confirming update now. Master! Picking up a new hostiles in our periphery. Is at least one, two, several ice beasts traveling alongside another giant. Let's make a break for the border, Mashu. Or we could just kill them all. Understood. Are we canonically using our briefcase here? I can see them up ahead. Master. Time to fight then. Okay. More filler. I'm cool with that. Yeah, what was I saying? I'd like to get part 3 done before the Elmaloy case files. Like, I don't mind missing the Benny Enma event. It gets a rerun next year. Plus, you know, there's no welfare servant. I mostly miss out on, you know, bit of lore. Probably an in-joke that'll get made later on about it. But I can live with that. Same thing with Only Land. Kinda sucks that I missed it, but it happens. I am starved for caster gems right now. Like, please. Like, what's the skill at? 6? This one's at 4, I think? Yep. It kinda sucks. Like, I want to level up a V-Saber on, I want to narrow swimsuit, Sieg, I was using, but yeah, I replaced with Needle Chris now pretty much. It was really useful while I had it though. I guess we could talk about like the events that have taken place since last time. Like, I think Apocrypha was first, wasn't it? I think so. It was honestly not that good. I wasn't into it. I had heard good things about it, but it just, the beginning was cool. Yeah, just the beginning was cool, and then Vlad showed up, and that was cool. I figured Darnik was kind of like the one behind everything. Like, you know, about halfway through. I had read a translation before, just the first chapter, nothing else, so I didn't really know too much about it. Sieg was there. Like, I don't really hate Sieg as much as, you know, some people seem to for an Apocrypha. He's okay. Like, I don't think he's awful. I don't think he's good, but hey, they do have a mascot. How about that? But like, he's not the worst character in Apocrypha. There's Astolfo's first master. What's her name? I don't remember. Who's her? We could use our normal phantasm. Let's go for the triple crit. It's like a 50-50 chance of happening, I think. You shouldn't have been the main character, obviously, but you know, it happens, it happens. You know what happened after that? Was it Gouda Gouda 3, or is there something in between? I don't know. Gouda Gouda 3 was fun though. Okita Alter, I knew nothing about it beforehand. She was fun. Sakamoto was a lot of fun, except with the Oreo. Although, if I remember, I think ending kind of let me down a little. It felt, no, just the whole thing felt very fast-paced. That was it. It was the mid-section especially, I think. Not the ending. I only remember the highlights from that event, really. It was fun for what it was, though. Back to it. That should have things up for now. We've defeated another giant and several ice beasts. No longer detect any hostiles or magical energy signals in our vicinity. Wait. You're right, Mr. Holmes. It sends faint magical energy around us, coming from the snow. Maybe it's a lostbelt servant that can control snow? I'm not sure, but that certainly seems possible. My guess is it has to do with the Lostbelt King. Well, I think I know who they are. Let's hash that stuff out later, Yuto. For now, you should hurry back to the border. Holmes, for now on, maybe start waiting until people are in a safe location before you start working with your long-winded explanations. Like, I'm just gonna come out and say, I think it's Skadi, right? It's no guarantee there aren't any other giants still lying in wait out there. Both of you get your butts back here. Be careful. Anyway, great job collecting all this data right after we emerged. Should be a big help. End of chapter? No? Not yet? Okay. Felt a little, you know, faster to do that. Oh good, you're back. Welcome home, Yuto. It's good to be back. Is this really home? But, you know. Thorn Axe is working wonderfully. Thank you again for that. Glad to hear it. Yordle's having a little rest. Said he was having a nervous breakdown or something. It happens. Guess the emergency exit was pretty hard on him. As all that worrying you did about scouting out our surroundings after we emerged was for nothing. I wouldn't say that. He's trying to keep us safe. In his own way. Oh, sorry, I was checking the date. Using display capture. It is November 30th, as you can see. Naturally, his primary concern is his own survival. Still an important part of being a leader. I was checking if it was Monday or Tuesday. So, Final Fantasy XIV, I joined a raid group. I was like, oh no, do we raid today? We do not. And it's also 6 AM in the morning. Oh, you guys can't see that, but I'm an early morning recorder. When things get dangerous, you snap at attention. Things get dicey, you get that right the heck out. That's how things are supposed to go, but the further removed the higher ups get from the action, the softer they get when it comes to making those calls. So in that sense, Director Goldoff is exceedingly good at his job. Not sure why, but he seems to treat any danger as field operatives are in as danger to his own life. I wonder what that's all about. Maybe he had a really strict tutor growing up or something. You know, like someone teaching him to think about war from the perspective of the people he's sending out onto the battlefield. Yeah, what a loser. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. That definitely explains some things. Just send them all out and make money from it, like in Kikonia. Now that you mention it, he always looked like he was in a lot of pain whenever Horsey was in a tight spot back in Russia. Talk about empathy. I wonder if he was always kicking up such a fuss. And anyway, make sure you write up the recon findings in a nice report template when you hand it off to him, if you don't mind. That'll be more than enough to keep old Gordy in the loop. On a different note, you guys really had a rough time out there, didn't you, hmm? Oh, I can talk about the new Higurashi remake. Oh, speaking of, I've been reading Higurashi, but I'll save that for next time. Yes, we did. Giants are beings from the Age of Gods. Not even mages have seen more than the occasional fossil of them. Any survivors in areas where mystics were still in full force will probably be seen as threats, taken out by the heroes of their respective ages. They're certainly not something you'd run into every day. I mean, you guys didn't see hide nor hair of them in any of the 7 areas you race shifted to, right? Not even in the actual Age of Gods. Yeah, about that. Now we just happen to run into not 1, but 2 in modern-day Scandinavia? I believe those giants you encountered were Jotnar, members of the Jotun race of giants. Yeah, their name would give that away, yes. In the Age of Gods, the Norse world is composed of 9 realms. I've watched Thor. I've seen the Marvel movie, yep. One such realm was Muspelheim, the land of flame. There was Niflheim, the land of ice, through which an icy river of poison flowed. When those 2 realms collided, the poisonous frost melted. Then, when it was exploded to Muspelheim's heat, grew into a tremendous giant. This was Ymir, said to be the ancestor of all Norse giants. I've played Smite. The race of giants that went on to spring forth from Ymir's body were called Jotun, the Frost Giants. These giants are truly beings belonging to the era when gods walked the earth. At times the Jotnar would mix with the Norse gods, giving birth to new gods and giants alike. It's said that the surviving Jotnar... this is one of those cases where the J is pronounced Y, right? I'm just making sure. Like in Fata Morgana. Although I think that might actually be more of an H, right? Wait, maybe a Y. I remember I looked at the katakana, I think it's Y. Eventually fell out of mythology and went on to become trolls. Oh, huh. Well, you 2 saw today were no trolls. They're most definitely Jotnar. Oh! You sure sound certain. Holmes is a giant expert. Really, I'm Sherlock Holmes, you realize? I'm the one who finds the truth, regardless of my spirit origin. I believe I said as much when I introduced myself. I'm sorry, just having a yawn a bit. See, the paper moon is not the only thing I picked up while I was visiting the Atlas Institute. I also picked up a folder on giants. Try Hermes! I don't remember this. Precisely. While there, I came in contact with the pseudo-Spiritron calculation engine, Try Hermes. When I did so, I happened to pursue some secret medical data pertaining to giants. Why? I don't see what's so funny. Don't you me, Buster. You're supposed to tell me these things before I need to know them. It's not fair that you get to do all the fun exposition. Besides, we're a team. You know, we should be pooling our knowledge and stuff. I shall take that under advisement, especially considering it comes from none other than the great Leonardo da Vinci herself. All that said, I could certainly use a bit more information myself. This is simply a Norse lost belt where a once lost race of giants still runs amok. Well, I very much doubt that is all there is to it. Right, once you saw that they were powerful beings and mystics, but they are still living creatures. Nothing else I can say for certain that the beings we encountered weren't servants. Correct. They're indeed absolutely not servants. I wonder what like the cutoff point for this lost belt was. Like in 1 it was humans mixing themselves with the demonic beasts, right? Or was the demonic beast not dying off? Or it was something related to that. Based on what we know from Russia, we can assume there's a being here who rules over this lost belt, a crypto who tends to the Tree of Emptiness. While our primary concern is with the latter, there remains a strong possibility that we'll come into conflict with the former as well. That said, our goal this time does not include engaging them in battle. Yeah, wink wink. Our intention is to cross Scandinavia without them ever knowing we're here. Yep, exactly. Joey, we should really take a little break first, don't you think? Thankfully, there's a lot more magical energy concentrated here than there was in Russia, so the border shouldn't have any problem recharging. We'll set off again in a little while, so make sure you two rest up while you can. Hiking across snowy mountains is a real number on your legs and back, you know? Very much recommend getting those kinks ironed out while you still can. Hey, oh, but first I almost forgot Mr. Holmes. Mr. Holmes! Yes, Miss Kirielite? I'm sorry, but back when we just looked over the mountain range, remember how you and Senpai were talking? Oh yeah. The time there's something else we wanted to ask about. What's the deal with the fire we saw? Like, who created it? The strange fire that keeps burning without spreading. Do you know what it is, Mr. Holmes? Can't say I know for certain, and I have a hypothesis about one in which I'm quite confident. I suppose that would make this more of an induction than a deduction. Right? Yes, that fire's none other than... We don't... Another alert. Fo. What the heck? Are our sensors busted? God, no, it's worse. They're working perfectly. Oh, I see Holmes. A freaking enormous magical energy signal just popped up near us out of nowhere. It's like a magical reactor core. This monster's on par with the Angraboda, powered by the Greater Grill we saw in London. That was too long ago for me to remember, dude. Come on. Was that like when Solomon showed up? Was that the thing Zolkin was doing? Zolgan? I try to mix the two. Zolgan and Zolkin, you know, his two names. So did the demonic sword end? It's a question mark. I'm assuming... Okay. I'm assuming certainly someone's gonna show up. Like, I don't have to hide it. Ophelia's gonna show up. That's my guess anyway. Oh, okay, let's not look at that. No. Everybody's port saved up. Well, actually, I did want to see... well, there's the Salem one, but... 2 days up, yeah, not gonna make it. Yeah, I remember they were giving away 10 free quartz. But we're not getting that. I'm fine with that. Although I remember I worked really hard to get 30 quartz by finishing Babylonian in time, but that's not relevant. Anyways, yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Maybe tomorrow, if I can. I'd like to complete Lost Belt 2 as soon as possible. And you know, the 3 prologue. Well, Lost Belt 2 as soon as possible, so I know I won't miss Oniland when it comes back around. But, because like everything else has a rerun. But, so that's like, you know, #1 priority. But that's a year from now, there's no way we don't do that. Still, and make, oh hey, there's actually animated fire. It put my mind at ease, let's say that. I never actually noticed that. It makes it easier to picture what we're seeing by looking at this. I always imagine, like, I thought it'd be greener here, because, well, I guess it's a spoiler, like, I mean, the craft essence you get at the end, let's just say that. My memory of it, it's green. But, I mean, it's not like I really looked at it before. It also makes me know I'm going to be sad soon. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.